Hi, I wanted to do a quick presentation on Regex DOS, or ReDOS as it's known. It's a type of vulnerability where you craft some input that's run by regex in your code, which stops your code from responding. So here's a quick example which we'll work through, and it's from Lodash. So Lodash has one of these regexes in it that is used for trimming whitespace from strings. So if I have string something, the trimmed version is the string without that. And if I also have loads of spaces, then string, you'd have something like that. So that's all well and good. But what happens when you have a string that could match up until the last character? So regex is running a bunch of tests to see if this matches. So you can see here all of the steps that regex would run to see if that string is a match or not. So you see it's going through every single one of these and going backwards from the end to see if that was a valid match. So this is saying, is this a string that is a bunch of spaces and then an A? It's not, but it's going to check every single one of these these dots are spaces. And you can really quickly take up a lot of compute time if you just add a bunch of those in. So that's 4,500 steps that the regex has to perform. So let's look at Lodash. This version of Lodash is patched, but the older version, the one just before this, which is at 4.17.20, is the vulnerable version. So if I do a long string, $50,000, and then it ends in a 1 as well. Then I say, let's start a timer. Do the trim, and then stop the timer, and then we can do something like so you can see that took quite a long time. And then if we copy all of this again, we'll call this as 2, T2, T3. And we use the patched version of Lodash. I'll do that again, just so the output is correct. And you can hear my fans are whirring away. So the first one took 24 seconds, and then the new version took that much time. So how can this affect you? Well, if it's only in your front end, you're using Lodash in the browser, well, it's not a big deal. It's denial of service where someone is denying their own service. But if you're using this server side and someone was submitting forms to you which had this kind of thing in, and you were trimming the string, for example, people could easily overwhelm your service just by submitting like 10 forms or whatever, and it would make your web service look unavailable. So that's why it's important to patch it when you get one of these on the server side. But you could argue that it's not so much of a big deal if you get this on the JavaScript client side. And if you want to have a look, this is the patch that fixed it. So there you can see the bad regex, and then they did a bunch of changes to change how trim works. So yeah, that's it.